Hey y'all, I just want to put a quick video out. This is the time of year to buy your muzzle loading supplies. A lot of retailers and a lot of stores are trying to get rid of the stuff that they had left over from last year. They're going to mark it down or close it out, make room for the stuff for fishing season and for turkey season. And right now is the time to go to your local retailer and check out and see what they got that you can get good deals on. Here's some suggestions on bullet, powder, and primers that I use that you might find useful to you too. I don't want to make this video any longer than I have to. I want to show you real quickly what I like to use for my loads, okay? I like Pyrodex pellets. These are 50/50, okay? And they are a 50 caliber size and 50 grains per pellet. Now I'll show you a couple of the pellets. And these two pellets I'm going to show you have actually been loaded in this gun. I actually just took them out this morning, but you can't tell it. Both those pellets were actually loaded in the rifle. That's what they look like. But they stay together. And those two together, like that, makes 100 grains. Okay, this rifle will shoot, they're a high pressure rifle, they'll shoot up to 150 grains. I wouldn't want to be behind it shooting 150 grains. Because it'll shoot it, it'll handle it, but it'll clean your clock when you shot it, I bet you that. But I like shooting these. And to me, even I like these better than even standard Pyrodex because they seem to be less dirty to me. That they seem to put out less dirt inside the gun when you shoot them. I bought these last year, I think, that I got these, and they weren't very expensive. I think for one pack, which is 24 of them, which you could shoot 12 shots with one pack, was, I want to think, like 10 bucks. Wasn't much. It wasn't 10 or $11. It wasn't much at all. Now, the bullets that I shoot, these is what I wanted to show you. These are pretty cool, okay? These are made from a company called Arrowlight, okay? And they are power belts. I don't know how well you can see that. They're power belts, okay? And these, they got really good performance. They have dual power bands on them, so you get speed quick out of the barrel, but not a whole lot of recoil. It's almost like you have a recoil pad on the bullet. That's very weird, but it works. It reduces your recoil, and they shoot fast. I shot one of these through a chronograph, shooting two of those pellets, and it shot, I want to think it was 1,900 feet a second, like 1870, somewhere around in there. And their aerodynamic bond design, nothing comes apart. Everything that's on this bullet, I'm going to pull one out of the pack here and show you right quick. Everything that's on this bullet when it goes down range is going to be still on the bullet when it impacts what you're shooting. Okay, that's what you get. Now on the end of this, it's cupped, and that's where you get your drive bands from. Those little grooves, I don't know if you can see them that well, but those little grooves are the power bands, and that cup on the bottom of that bullet, when that powder goes off, it expands that cup, so you get very little bleed off. You get almost 100% of the pressure that powder makes when it ignites is going to drive that bullet down your barrel all the way out. So the bullet's going to retain as much of the pressure as it can after the ignition of the powder until it leaves the barrel. You won't have any, you won't get no bunch of cutting, you know. If you're familiar with reloading, you know what I'm talking about with gas cutting. But what that is you get gas that escapes and goes around the projectile, and actually the hot gases will cut grooves in a bullet if they can get around it, and it'll really deform the bullet, and it'll cause some weird stuff to go on downrange as far as accuracy wise, or as far as if you're going to key drive a bullet that's going to hit, you know, or if it's going to be traveling straight. But with this, that eliminates that. That cup expands, and when it does, it takes those little grooves and they squeeze out and hit that barrel, and then no gas can get out, and then you get all that gas that's going to drive it all the way down the barrel. Does really well. Now real quick, I've got some ballistics here telling you all the recommended game loads for the power belts. And for a standard load with these, with pelletized propellant, is 80 to 100 grains. Now you can cut these pellets down. Okay, it's not hard to do at all. You can take a knife and just, they'll pop right in half. You can cut them in two. Now you can shoot, say like from the CVA Paramount, throughout some of these bullets, you can shoot them 150, 170 grains. I wouldn't want to do it. That's to me, that's pushing hard. But if you're going to shoot just a standard pelletized propellant load, these from a 50 caliber Magnum rifle like this is considered a Magnum rifle, as a Magnum receiver and a Magnum barrel. You could shoot 110 to 150 grain bullet from this. Now they have this neat, just a big fold out page that comes with the bullets when you get them. It tells you all kinds of stuff, all the ballistics and all the drops. It's really, really neat. Now, like I said, I was showing you on here that energy, the speed that we was getting out of this when we shot through a chronograph. I just want to show you some stuff here right now. This line right here, the first one going down, that is at the muzzle. I believe that's what it is. Yeah. And if you look at some of those standard numbers right there at the muzzle for the loads, I think the second bunch is the 50 cal shooting, let's see, 250 grain is what I've got, Aerolite. They list it at 100 grains at 1920 feet per second at the muzzle. For a muzzle loader, that's getting it. That is absolutely flying down range. That'll turn a decent average shooting muzzle loader at 150 yards into a really good shooting muzzle loader at 300 yards. And you know, guys, 10 years ago, if somebody would have said, hey, we're going to be shooting a deer at 300 yards with a muzzle loader, somebody would have said, you're an unethical hunter. And people may still say that. But they don't pick up these new bullet designs, and they don't pick up these new powders, and they don't pick up these rifles that'll handle that. And this is not a new rifle by far. The Model 700 ML has been around for a long time. But there's a lot of real nice muzzleloaders around. Thompson Center's got some nice muzzleloaders around. CVA's stepped up big time now. There's a lot of companies making good muzzleloaders that can shoot for some distance. But these bullets, I really like them. I've tried a lot of different kind of muzzleloading bullets, and I'm finicky about bullets. I can handle propellants pretty much. Any kind that comes out. I've got Pyrodex in my gun safe. I've got 3 or 4 different types. I've even got some actual 2FG Swiss black powder, the real deal stuff. And I've learned enough about reloading and ballistics. I can get performance out of about any of them. But in order to do that, you have to have a good bullet. You have to start with a good bullet. And that bullet is a good bullet. At 250 grain, that's what this is. It's 250 grains. It's 250 grain Aerolite, and like I said, their aerodynamic, their new aerodynamic design. It's ballistic tipped, and it's going to get you some good ballistics downrange. It's going to get you some real good impact ballistics. You're going to get a lot of bullet retention and a lot of penetration, even at long distance. And with that soft ballistic tip, they're going to open up quick. So if a lot of muzzleloading bullets you'll get that at a short range, if you get a real close shot, they haven't had the opportunity. They don't get the opportunity to open up quick, and they're just moving so fast close out of the muzzle that the bullet don't get a chance to begin to give you any kind of ballistics of opening the bullet up and getting a good impact. You will with these. These do really well. And it's the number one, now it's the number one selling bullet in America now is these power belts. I really like them. Guys, check them out. You can get them about anywhere. They're pretty cheap at Walmart. I think these were like $17, and there's 15 in a pack, and I use, unless I kill a deer, I'll use 2 a year. That's what I use. I'll shoot 2 and make sure my rifle's still on. And because, like you say, everybody says, if it's science, it's got to be repeatable. So if I take it to the range, put it on the range bag and shoot it, and it hits where I want it to once, then I got to do that again to make sure it does. And so then after I shoot the second shot, if I'm satisfied with that, then I call it good. Swab that barrel one time the night before deer season. I'll load it, and then it don't come unloaded until the end of the season unless I shoot a deer. That's just the way I hunt with it. And I also want to touch base with you real quick about primers, guys, with these 209s. Now there's a difference. There's a difference between 209 primers for a shotgun, 209 primers for a muzzleloader. You can use both in either one, but there is a difference. The difference is the wall thickness on the 209 primers for muzzleloaders is about 1.5 thousandths thicker than they are for a shotgun. And the reason that being is because the primers for a shotgun, or for the muzzleloader, they stay in place by pressure from the inside of the nipple, the fit. It's a machine fit. And that's why when you put primers into a shotgun shell, if you ever reload one, that you have to press it in. That's so the primer doesn't fall out. And it's the same thing on the muzzleloaders. Some of them have like a little spring deal on them that hold them, or some don't. Like say on this rifle here, it does not. It don't have anything in there to hold it. It's just the machine fit. And that's why you got to use actual muzzleloading primers and not primers that are made for a shotgun. You can use either one, but the ones for a muzzleloader work correctly in the nipples on these muzzleloaders. Hey guys, if you liked the video, hit subscribe. Don't forget to click that bell so you get notifications the next time we put out a video. Appreciate you. It's the Fat Man. I'm gone.